Whenever you are, wherever you are, welcome to Let's Talk Stupid. I'm Compound.
And I'm proud. And today we don't have a guest anymore, but today's topic is very fun.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about music. Okay, so I would like to begin with like a little game. It's actually pretty, you can see it everywhere on Instagram. It's a game where you explain or give people songs that is related to any topics in like a table or stuff. So I'm gonna choose the topic for Proud, and you're gonna give me a song which suits that topic. Okay, so I can begin.
Uh-huh. I think we should take turn, like switch back and
Yeah,
forth.
sure. Okay, so I would like you to find a song that was. This is actually the song that motivates you.
The song that motivates me. I believe it's High Hope from Panic at the Disco. Have you heard of that?
I've seen the title,
It's
but I haven't listened to
yeah,
it.
it's quite famous. It's rock and it's quite the music is, I would say, quite aggressive considering it's rock, but it's very motivational and encouraging.
Oh.
And let me like read some part of the lyrics for you then. Something that.
You know that there's like two songs with a title called High Hopes, right? There's like High Hopes from Coda Lines and
Oh,
is that right? And High Hopes from Panic the Disco. Well,
there's also High Hope from the
oh
Vamps.
right. Wow.
Uh-huh. Wait. Okay. So, uh, the part of the lyrics says that Mama said, fulfill the prophecy, be something greater, go make a legacy, manifest destiny. Back in the days, we wanted everything, wanted everything. I almost sang that. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, that sounds motivational enough. I mean, before there's life coaches, there's music, right? Music with inspirational lyrics. Alright, then what's.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So, oh, this one is interesting. So, the song that gets stuck in your head easy.
I mean, this one is pretty easy, Rolling into Deep by Adele. Actually, every song by Adele stuck in
Yeah.
our head very easily. I don't understand too, but, guess it happens. Like, even when I didn't understand English properly, Rolling in the Deep plays in my head on loop. And it's kind of creepy that I don't know any
That's true.
lyrics and I sing it like, I sing it like a crazy person. And still, I'm still singing Rolling in the Deep. It's weird how she creates such earworm, right?
Yeah. At first, I thought you were going to say something like Baby Shark or that Apple Pen song.
Actually it stuck in my head pretty easy, but it also went off from my head pretty easy. So it gets into my head pretty easy and it also went off my head as simple as it comes, right? So I don't think it stuck. Like
Uh-huh.
it just comes and goes. It's those types of song where
Like a
yeah,
trend.
it's like 10 years past and you don't remember it anymore.
So you're saying Adele will probably stuck with you for the rest of your life.
Well, at least it's better than Baby Shark and PPAP. I mean, Adele's fine.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, I heard that she is going to release her album soon. Like she's been working on it for years.
Oh, yeah. It could be great. It could be not great. It depends on your anticipation. If you anticipate a lot from an album, it is most likely that you will be disappointed. I mean, every time.
No expectation, no regrets, or right? Oh, no, no, wait. It's no expectation, no disappointment.
Yeah. True. On that quote, it's quite true, but I don't think that even if you got like literally no expectation, well, you can't. That quote is good, but it's not practical on many levels, right? So,
It's not realistic.
you know, very very fun fact about expectation. Maybe it's not a fun fact. It's what everybody can think, but it has been told that expectation is sort of like, products of our evolution, if it's so called. It's like the thing that make us, expectation. Some people say that expectations come from when we remember things, we remember it in rules, right? Because it's easy to remember the system, the patterns, the rules, more than remember a single fact, many series of facts, right? So expectation is the expect the expectations that things are going to fit in your rules, because it's easier to store memories that way. And if something failed that expectation, you can remember it better than things that falls into patterns. And that's how we learn to remember things that falls out of patterns, because those things are tended to be more dangerous than any other things that falls into rules.
That's quite fascinating.
Okay?
That's probably also like why people try to search for something more fun or dangerous, like those extreme sports. Like it makes your brain fire some chemicals to make them feel more engaged in the activities. And yeah, let's move on. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay.
All
So,
right.
oh, it's my turn.
Is it? It's my turn to give you a song, to give you a topic, and then you'll give me a song. We're gonna take turn, right?
Yeah. No, it's your turn to give me a song, and it's my turn to
Oh,
answer.
sure. Then, how about, hey, this, the song that you, song that
What?
makes you cry.
The song that makes me cry. Wait, I can't remember the name.
So you can sing
Let
it
me
to
Google
me,
that
and
for a
maybe
second.
if I have heard of.
No thanks.
Okay.
Okay, it's called What About Angels?
Oh, from the movie
From
The Fault in.
Oh, Not About Angels.
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
movie.
it's from Birdie. Uh-huh. Because it's very sad. Her voice is very sad, and well, because like it has the story behind it from the film, it made me cry a couple of times.
True.
Very sad.
Yeah, I mean, The Fault in Our Stars, it's like, in case you haven't watched it somehow, it's about a cancer girl, right? No, she got like some tuberculosis, and the boys got like cancer, and they fell in love with each other. And I'm not gonna tell you what happens in the end, but
I
these
don't.
kind of movies have
Uh-huh.
like endings that goes into like the same ways.
Uh-huh. Oh, this one is quite different from my opinion, but yeah, pretty much the same storyline, but still very sad. And I really like the story though.
Well, the quote from the movie can be interpreted as, I think it's pretty uncanny, a little bit uncanny, but sort of unique and good. Like the male protagonist used to say that he hangs cigarettes in his mouth because he think he have the power to
Yeah.
control the deadly power of cigarettes. It's a little bit uncanny to actually hear somebody say that in real life, but it's also unique.
That's true. That's why it exists only in movies.
Not in every movie. Like, I mean, the dialogue is not quite natural for me, but it's what makes the movies the way it is. It what makes John Green, right? The author of the books. he has such ways of writing dialogues that sounds a little bit uncanny.
Okay, so moving on. Ooh, what's your good breakup song?
It's I have never break up with anybody, so I don't know whether what I should feel in a breakup. But if I have to say, then maybe
Which one would you recommend?
I would recommend something. If you break up with your boyfriend, which you don't have, if you break up with him, I would recommend you to listen to Shout Out to My Ex. Actually,
Oh, that's a great
right?
song.
Actually, I have a lot of sad songs about breaking up. But why do you want your friends to be sad when you break up with someone? You want to cheer your friends up by telling that your friend is the best and that guy who broke up with you is
It's the worst. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna play just two songs because we don't want to get too long on blabbering about our music taste.
Which is quite bad. Compound told me all the time that I kind of like have a weird taste of music, which I quite agree, but I don't know, I listen to more varieties right now. Like I'm discovering like jazz and rock, and it's been fun though.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, your taste in music it's a little bit different from teenagers in Thailand. But I think we listen to like an amount of mainstream musics. So yeah, but not many teenagers in Thailand listen to songs that you do. Like you listen to a little bit. Yeah, it's a
International
unique.
music.
And also the music.
Yeah, I rarely listen to Thai music. I don't know why, but I think it's quite weird when you hear the words in Thai. I don't know.
I mean, there's a Thai song that I have complained to you. It is sung like this.
Uh-huh.
รักก็เป็นรักหลงก็เป็นหลงแล้วชาวประมงจะไปเข้าใจอะไร Basically translated English, love is love. What is it called? Infatuation is infatuation, and what do fishermen understand? It doesn't make sense, right? I know when I translate it, it's like this. It doesn't make sense, and that's exactly the point. It doesn't make sense. What does fisherman have to do with love? Even if it rhymes in Thai, it doesn't make any sense either. This is not a rhyme games for like children. What rhymes with long in Thailand? Oh, fisherman. Oh, pramong. Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's why I hate it. It's kind of shallow, if I can say it, but because I listen to songs because I like their lyrics, it makes me hate some Thai songs very much.
Mm-hmm. But many people might argue that when you listen to a song, you don't have to pay attention to lyrics that much. And I would say that that's probably why I prefer English or international music, because I don't fully comprehend what's happening in the lyrics, so I don't really hate it. And like another example for international song with some weird lyrics might be Riptide from Band's Joy.
Why do you think it's weird? I think it's dark at some point, but not too dark.
Yeah, but the story like just goes to like wherever, and he basically like in his interview he said that well the word just came out flooding, and it like he just wrote them down.
The word just came flooding like a riptide. Duh.
Uh-huh.
But
So maybe there are many ways to look at that. I think music is more like a subjective.
You can say that you listen to music without listening to the lyrics, but why do people make lyrics then? Because before this generation, there were music without any lyrics, right? Like classical music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so people invented lyrics in order to combine poetry with classical music, and then they created something more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we're the mainstream consumer, shouldn't we be consuming what they want us to consume?
I think you should then consume whatever you want to consume instead of their opinion, I think.
Okay, fair point. To talk about that, like music has been evolving very quickly. Yeah, I mean, you can say that with everything, but take a notice at classical music. Do you enjoy classical music?
Yeah, quite a bit.
I only enjoy it when I'm going to sleep. So, like, there are some people saying that classical musics are better than normal music. Do you know what's the argument for that?
I don't really know, but I've heard like some scientific thingy related to that.
This is more like anthropologists' ideas. Is like they're saying that people who consumes classical music were people of the elite ranks, and therefore they had higher educations, and their taste had been alleviated, and
That's weird.
therefore it's like classical music is music for smart people with education and wealth. But I don't think so. I mean, it's just that it's just it. You know, if classical music is the only music genre exists in your world, you would have to choose it anyway, right? It's the only source of musical entertainment you can choose.
Yeah, and I actually have heard. I'm not sure. I've not done any research on this, but I've heard that maybe the classical music will help you study more efficiently or make you more concentrated in what you're doing. And I've read that meditating, the reason why meditation work is it tune your brain wave thingy to make it more stable, and that's why meditation worked, not even from a religious point, like meditation in general. That's why many Western people do meditate, but they are not necessarily Buddhist.
I see. But it kind of contradicts this to the argument that says that classical musics are emotional, right? Because if you listen to something very emotional, you get emotional, and therefore you're distracted from the things you do. So I don't know. Maybe it's subjective. Some people are very sensitive and therefore find it emotional, but I can't even understand Vivaldi Four Seasons. Like, what seasons is this? I don't understand at all.
Okay, so what do you think music will be like in the future?
Well, I think music have changed a lot. Like, as I've said before, it has been adjusting to the mainstream music more. They're the only the obvious things that we've seen on the internet is that music is kind of involving darker things. For example, like, there's like a theme of melancholic musics in mainstream music. For example, Lana Del Rey, uh, Billie Eilish, Lord, and stuff. So music will be about like
Yeah.
happy. It has never been only about happy, but it will involve more sensitive topics like drugs and sadness and
True.
abusive relationship. It will be about everything that we experience in our life, but dramatized.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I believe it has been for a while. I Before this, my mother used to tell me that every song she listened to in her childhood are all like love songs. But like at this point in time, there are so many varieties of them. But still, I think love song in general is still quite popular, right? Like, have you like paid attention in the lyrics and you'll see like it's about love, like heartbroken, the perfect love match or whatever. It's most of it is related to love.
Yeah, true, but there's like a new genre popping up, like nostalgia and also
Uh-huh.
self-love, but which is also love, but you kind of talk about yourself more. But one thing to be noticed is that, and I think one thing worth mentioning in our podcast, if anybody's listening to this, you should know this should be noted that I think music nowadays, there's so many songs that's glorifying the lifestyle of drugs and abusive things. What do you
Uh-huh.
think about that?
Well, it's bad, obviously, and but I'm sure that the platform that those musics are released are trying to do something. Like for example, Spotify, you can report the songs, and they will have like an E labeled for some song with like explicit content
Mm-hmm.
to like prevent younger listeners. But still, I don't really know. I'm not in the industry.
Dude, like the thing that is happening right now is that I have nothing against these artists. Like, disclaimer, I think their music appeal to some groups of people. For example, like Lana Del Rey. She's kind of singing with the songs about tugging your lover's shirt, and even if he hits you, even if he's mean sometimes, you can stay with him. And also, you don't get me started on Billie Eilish. Like, obviously, she literally sang in like Bury a Friend, I Wanna End Me, and all sort of like cannibalism and a lot of things without
Mm-hmm.
triggered warning. I don't know if there's trigger warning, but I don't see it explicitly. And also, kids are listening to Billie Eilish. Like, I went to Reddit to research about this, and like, there's 13 and 14 years old kids listening to this. I don't think this is entirely Billie's fault. She doesn't, I don't think that she meant it to be for kids.
Uh-huh. But I think the reason why kids listen to her is because of the trend. If it were not trendy, I don't think people would turn their heads to her song. To be completely honest, from my opinion.
Yeah, but even if for whatever reason it is popular, it is not fair at all to
Mm-hmm.
let kids listen to this kind of suicidal message, abusive message, making it some sort of like thing that are cool, thing that are in trend, things that are dramatic, things that are fun. Because honestly, it happens too in movies, but in songs it is a lot easier to be consumed, right? Like, you show kids that these
Mm-hmm.
kind of love is love. It's kind of glorified life of Hollywood superstars. It's like you show the persona of being crazy as attractive, as trendy and the stuff. I don't think it's, and kids are just kids. They can't separate it truth from reality. And even if they can, I still think that I too am affected by these kind of music. I started thinking that these kind of actions are things that happens in normal in reality, which it is not supposed to be that.
I think some prevention should be implemented, but still, I don't know what we could do.
We can't tell the artists to stop because there's so many freedoms and those things, right?
Uh-huh. And it's the way they gain money. It's their bread and butter, so I don't think they're going to stop.
Dude, like,
But
literally the arguments
mm-hmm.
against my opinions is like they are not making music for kids and kids just happen to be listening to it. But the truth it is open in Walmart. And how could the kids not be listening to it?
True. This is a quite a heavy topic.
Yup, we can always drag it to like heavy stuff.
Yeah, even like the most fun and delightful topic, we could make it dark and heavy and
Maybe we should
serious.
change
Oh
the
my
thumbnail into like the black color of black. Let's talk stupid.
god. It's been darker and darker since the last episode. And well, let's move on to like a lighter topic, I guess. So, well, I've seen lots of synthetic voices lately. It's been like used to modify people's voice, and well, I've heard of a song that is sung by a computer. Like I believe it's Miku something,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That song. That's completely like from a computer. So I think maybe in the future, it might be more prevalent, and maybe it might be as common as you might think it is. And well,
I don't really know, but I think that computer might actually sing a song, right?
Right. Right.
Right?
Or you sounds like you're high on helium. And also a lot of substance.
What do you mean?
Well,
What do you
yeah,
mean?
that's cool. What program do you use?
yeah, what I'm saying is that it's called Clownfish. Yeah, it's quite easy and anyone can access it. And I've heard many people use this kind of, well, let me change it back. I've heard many people like use this kind of programs to call scammers and like change their voice into an old lady, and they had lots of like success in their YouTube channel by doing this, and also like tricking the scammers from actually scamming the real people.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, some people may say, as you have noted at first, that I hate Thai music, right? But actually, I think that even though we talked about a lot in like music and how it's generally appearing to be darker and the lyrics doesn't make sense anymore, stuff like that, I still think that okay, so this happens yesterday. It is like I'm sitting in a restaurant and there's like an old man with his guitar and he's singing some country songs, Thai country songs, which is absolutely not my taste. But somehow the winds were blowing and it's cool. Everything is nice. I'm just sitting there and suddenly I find his music really it captivated me in some ways that musics in mainstream or musics in my YouTube playlist have never captivated me before. Even the lyrics are something I've already heard. It's probably about the vibe more than about every analytical component.
I've heard of like an idea somewhere that like believing you like only particular genres of music is it's BS.
Sure.
So it's BS because you can like many songs for many reasons and you don't have to stick to just a couple of genres.
True.
And I think that's why artists usually release more than one version of the song. Maybe there's acoustic, stripped, remixes, whatever.
Like Old Town Road, right? The only version of it.
Yeah, that
True.
one.
So, actually, I've heard, I've read an article that says that we created, it is probably not a supporting ideas for your theory, but it sort of say that your brain, when you listen to music when you're young, your brain kind of create like a software, like a software of your taste in music. And if any new music fits this category, it will be added into the software. And the software is always changing and learning new things. So your taste in music is probably fixated on what you've listened when you were a child. But I guess that maybe it's incorrect, or maybe it's correct. I don't know. I've never really had a chance to prove it. Never really dissected my own taste in music. Guess I have to buy Spotify then.
Yeah, I'm the Spotify team. Well, like, this is true for me that when I hear some music, like, more than a couple of times, I will like it more. Or if I know who the artist is, I will tend to like it more or hate it more if I don't like the artist.
Oh, I think that music is being more of like things that is various for people. You can choose whatever you like because music used to be
Uh-huh.
subjective, right? For people who has
Yeah.
the luxury to afford the music that you like. You can commission people to write songs for you, and but nowadays it is still the case, but there's more type of music that consumers like us have more rights to choose what we.
And that's great for like the music market because we have more options, I guess.
True.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's go back to the topic about the lyrics a little bit. Well, lyrics is essentially a language, like, right? I've heard of like recently I've came across a concept of like people trying to communicate with animals, because we believe like in cartoons, for example, that those animals have their own languages. What do you think?
As in the thoughts of like music is the used to be the means of communicating with animals. Very likely because
No,
what?
no, I mean like communicating with animals in
Oh,
general.
I think
Like trying, like the language interpreter for animals to like say human words.
no, I don't think that they will be able to say human words, but we will probably understand what they are feeling and what they want at the very least. Like you're going to be able to understand whether this cat meows and you understand that it wants to go to bed. But I don't think animals' language functions the way that our languages functioned because our language,
Yeah, I
yeah,
totally agree.
it is used in different functions, right? And maybe there are some type of communications that we do not need and therefore we can't explain it.
Yeah, and there are some things that we couldn't explain to those animals as well. I feel like it's like comparing English grammar to programming syntax. It's yeah, the main purpose is the same to like sort of communicating, but for dogs, for example, they use gestures and wigging their tails and barking and howling, but I don't think you could interpret word by words for those gesture.
True. And there are also, well, I think it would be disappointing. Like, if I want to use this interpreter, I would want it to talk to my dear animals. But our feelings and what we perceive, I guess, my my guess would be it would be a lot deeper than what the animals are feeling. And so, even though you feel very special to your animals, it won't reach them. Like they love you, but in a very different way.
That's probably true. I've heard a concept that, well, when you go back from work, when you go home from work and you see your dog, no matter if it's like an hour or 2 days, the dog will greet you the same. It'll be like so happy to see you, but the degree of happiness is the same. And the reason why dogs do that is because they can't sense time. They don't know when is now, when is like the past, when is the future. When you left it felt alone and it felt scared and all the time and constantly. So yeah, that's the reason why dogs don't really like behave differently even if times goes
Poor
by.
boy. Then I wonder what the philosophy of dogs
Yeah.
are. Because our philosophy is it's dependent on the limited times, right? So dog's philosophy would be like, love your owner, love your owner, love your owner.
Oh, okay.
Or like more sophisticated. Don't put all your feces into places, okay? You know, love your honors. Don't bark too much.
Yeah,
Be a good boy.
I've I've also heard that uh like dogs normally, like the nature of dogs, they wouldn't poop in the residential area or the area that they live or sleep or eat. So like for Western countries, people usually like walk their dogs so that their dog can poop outside their house and they can collect it. But for in Thailand, we have more culture of like training dogs to poop in a certain area of the house, and I don't think that worked very well because my dog, even though she's like 11 years old already, she still like had some accident, and she would poop and pee whenever she wants, wherever she wants. But most of the time, still on the same like spot that we provided her though. But when we enrage her, she would go like crazy and poop all over the house.
Oh, well, I mean, but I don't support the ideas of Thai people taking dogs to park and then they can poop. Because Thai people won't collect the poop, I'm pretty sure. It will be like a park of dog poops.
Sure, but we can work on that. Like maybe not like immediately, but maybe gradually, because I think walking dogs is what like people should actually do. We don't have that culture of like walking our dogs that much.
True. But walking dogs are very good for your health, especially when you buy dogs for your seniors. They have chances to exercise more, and they'll probably have a friend, if you can call that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that this is it for this episode. My note would be don't glorify abusive lyrics and try to separate reality from dramas in the songs. And also, whatever you like, I don't mind because I have nothing to do with you. You can open your music anywhere, anyhow you like it. But please wear your headphones because it's very important to respect other people as well. And don't go to
that's a great wrap.
Places where they play music and people dance without wearing their mask because this is COVID season. Wear your headphones and stay at home.
That's great conclusion. And another fun fact, you shouldn't like wear headphones that stick into your ears. You should wear like over ear headphones. It's quite better and you won't get like earwaxes and the sound quality is better. So pro tip.
Yeah, okay. Of course, I'll try to find time to buy one. Okay, so do we want to leave our audiences some question?
Maybe what's your guilty pleasure song and the reason behind it?
Okay, so thank you very much for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next week.
Wait. You can send us your answers to let's talk stupid at .stupid@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's all Let's Talk Stupid.
Yeah. And yeah, let's see you guys next week. We'll be talking about these kind of topics. And I think we kind of we kind of got like, the sense of what this podcast is about right now. So
yeah, we have some kind of a structure.
So, yeah, stay tuned. And see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.